Rachel Zegler is very upset with all of us over the reaction we've had.
It's all Rachel Zegler and her behavior. And if it was just one comment, it probably would have been forgotten by now.
You can tell this because she's speaking in riddles.
But it was comment after comment, and it was pissing off everybody. And it became such a disaster that they had to shut her up, which was the smartest move they made.
What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it.
It is present everywhere but where it is most important. Rachel Zegler's Evita controversy has gone global on the internet. You've heard about it, seen it, and felt it. The bizarre thing is that, in response to TikTok's exploding YouTube videos, viewers are posting behind-the-scenes rumors more quickly than PR staff can remove them from the comment sections.
Mostly because of what the lead actress has been saying to the press. Rachel Zegler has been described as a walking PR disaster, but there's more. There's always more.
The mainstream media has entirely stopped reporting on this drama, with no variety pieces or deadline coverage, while the entire internet watches it play out in real time. Not a single word from people. The top entertainment outlets are covering everything but the biggest story in theaters right now, which begs the question, what are they hiding? Even as fans speculate about backstage meltdowns, Rachel being caught spying on her replacement, and cast walkouts, it seems like it never happened, according to The Hollywood Reporter or even your typical gossip website.
Rachel Zegler, I was unfamiliar with your game. I thought you were cool. I didn't know you were this cool. It came out today in, what was it, a Variety article that they are trying to pin the failure of... Anyway, he flew across the country to try to meet with Rachel and pretty much intimidate her, and she didn't. She said no. That's cool. Anyways, I think it's pretty f***ed up that they're trying to pin the financial failure of this film on the young woman who just happened to, I don't know, have a moral backbone. That being said though, Rachel, as a fellow Rachel, you ever need anything, you need somebody taken down, verbally or otherwise, that's what I'm here for.
We're asking the question they won't and delving into the narrative they're all too scared to tell, because when something this nasty, public, and viral doesn't make the headlines, it's not a coincidence. Rather, it's a cover-up. The more they try to hide it, the louder it gets.
The big reason why so many people are turned off by Rachel Zegler's attitude and behavior. I think it's because it's reminiscent of this. I'm not saying that she's a mean girl in real life, but that attitude usually is something that people associate with mean girls in real life. The cattiness, the smugness. At the same time, I also think that it's just because she's a theater kid, so the way she acts makes sense and she just needs PR training. But anyway, I think people are just so done with the mean girl persona. It's not funny. It's a major turnoff, and I feel like social media personalities have thrived on it before, but now girls are just done with it.
Rachel Zegler was set to make her big theatrical comeback with Evita, a high-profile production, a legendary role, a cast full of seasoned performers, and a clean slate after months of controversy surrounding her online behavior, past interviews, and the Snow White backlash. Let's remind ourselves of what they're not talking about before we even discuss the media blackout.
Well, Rachel was desperate to play Eva Perron. It was her idea, and we saw an audition tape, and she was absolutely sensational.
There were rumors. Afterwards, there were rumors of full-blown backstage meltdowns, emotional outbursts, slammed doors, mishaps, and, finally, the breaking point, when several cast members allegedly banded together and demanded Zegler's removal from the production. This alone would have been enough to make headlines, but it didn't stop there. Zegler allegedly battled with directors, rewrote scenes, refused choreography, and isolated herself from the cast.
Whereas when Rachel shared the same sentiment at the Shazam 2 premiere, she was on the receiving end of backlash, with social media users dubbing the actress as ungrateful. Now some social media users are deeming it unfair that Rachel was heavily criticised for essentially saying the same thing as her male counterpart, with one Twitter user even going as far as to claim that the Rachel Zegler hate campaign was founded on misogyny. Does the internet owe Rachel Zegler an apology?
Leaked rehearsal notes, secret recordings, claims that Zegler threw a prop during rehearsal, lawsuits for breach of contract, and, just when the internet thought it could get any more dramatic, she was caught allegedly spying on a closed rehearsal without permission while watching her replacement perform backstage. The cast's reaction was chaos.
This is called adult responsibility and accountability. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires at the risk of all the colleagues and crew and blue-collar workers who depend on that movie to be successful. Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged. That is and there's still people being like, this is ridiculous.
No,
how can you hear that and not be like, okay.
Tension erupted in the theater as security reportedly called for practice to be stopped. It was the kind of drama Hollywood adores: scandalous betrayal moments that go viral. Crickets are the ideal headline for any tabloid. The story was not covered by any significant outlets. No exclusive interviews, no formal schedule, nothing in terms of corporate commentary.
Rachel, you got time to sign some autographs for us, Rachel? Rachel G? You got time to sign some, Rachel? Maybe on the way out?
The internet becomes louder while the top-tier platforms remain completely silent, despite millions of views, thousands of comments, and numerous creators documenting every twist of the story. This isn't just a small PR hiccup, it's one of the most talked about celebrity spirals of the year, and it's happening in public, so the question is, if everyone is talking about it, why aren't they?
It's so insane to me the way the discourse has changed around Rachel Zegler in the past month, especially because I feel like we as a society are at a point where we recognize how harmful these media cycles have been to female actors, where we build them up to a certain level of fame, and then we start launching these really vague criticisms at them, like they're cringe, they're annoying, they're ungrateful, so we could bring them back down to size. I think the very same people who are making videos about Rachel Zegler tearing her down would criticize the media's treatment of actors like Jennifer Lawrence and Kristen Stewart. At the end of the day, some of these clips are super awkward, but they're cherry-picked moments from a months-long press tour, and the bigger problem is that we don't do the same thing to male actors. At least we do it at a far lower frequency. And so I think we need to acknowledge, what Rachel Zegler is doing is not morally wrong. She's not a villain because she had some weird interview answers, but we're treating her like one because she's a woman trying to exist in public. None of this applies if she's actually done something morally wrong and I just don't know about it, but I don't think she has.
The internet didn't remain silent when the Rachel Zegler Evita drama broke out on social media. It began with a few grainy backstage pictures, a rehearsal clip, and a cast member's cryptic comment. Next came the TikTok's dramatic reenactments, storytime breakdowns, and fan theories that connected the dots. People began tagging one another, asking if they were real, and eventually it turned into a full-fledged online firestorm.
The thing I love about this icon, Rachel Zegler, is the fact that she's just authentically herself. No matter what, she will call things out if things need to be called out, and she will have a strong stance on it, and I love her so much for that. She is just an absolute icon. I will forever be a Rachel Zegler stan. Till the day I die. Literally, if I'm dead, I'm probably gonna still stan her as well. I love this icon so much, such a powerhouse. Her singing, oh my god. Her acting, oh my god. Her in Evita, oh my god. Rachel, why do you do this to me? I don't have any money. And you're making me go to Evita. You are making me go to Evita because I want to see you. I want to see you being the powerhouse person you are. I love you so much, Rachel Zegler. I really, really do.
The public wasn't just watching. They were investigating fans who dug up old interviews, revisited clips where Zegler talked down to fans, mocked classic characters, or made strange power play comments. All of a sudden, her entire career was under scrutiny, and every word she ever said was being reanalyzed through the Evita lens. YouTube channels picked up the story, turning bits of leaked information into hour-long breakdowns. Threads on X, formerly Twitter, detailed every alleged meltdown, rumor, and shady comment Rachel had ever made. Reddit exploded with behind-the-scenes reaction videos went viral. People began to wonder why Variety hadn't posted anything and why Entertainment Weekly and Deadline were purposefully ignoring this. Comments poured in with statements like, "Why are the real journalists acting like this isn't happening? This is why we don't trust Hollywood. They're protecting her, so why would they be covering it non-stop?" If it had been anyone else, that silence would have only increased suspicion because fans could see the drama play out. They had screenshots, recordings, quotes, and more, but the major outlets pretended that nothing of it existed, leaving a huge power vacuum. Suddenly, Rachel Zegler wasn't just an actress involved in a messy rehearsal scandal. She was a symbol of a larger conversation about media control, narrative manipulation, and what happens when the public loses faith in the people in charge. The theories only grew louder with each day of media silence. Why was a young actress with one viral meltdown after another being protected from the fallout? Why weren't the big names in entertainment journalism saying a word even as her name trended for days? The internet had plenty of answers. According to one idea, corporate links. From Snow White to the Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, Rachel is a major investment for Disney, Universal, and the Broadway elite. She has been at the heart of multi-million-dollar productions, so publicly criticizing her could jeopardize funding and access, and there's also the woke media angle. The idea that certain media outlets shield artists who match a particular storyline. Zegler has sided with progressive causes, garnered media attention for her candid opinions, and frequently adopted the persona of a cultural underdog. Some people think this makes her media untouchable no matter how messy the situation gets, while others believe it goes deeper and that Zegler's team is secretly conducting extensive damage control, removing quotations that offer special access in return for silence and cleaning references. It gets unsettling when mainstream outlets disregard the criticism and continue to post fluff items despite significant PR efforts to keep the story out of traditional headlines and subtly reshape the narrative. Interviews with Rachel discussing her development as an artist. It seems like they're promoting a version of the story that just erases the rest, and people realize they're fabricating her comeback. It feels like celebrity gaslighting, and some fans have called it a Hollywood protection racket. Soft focus spreads show her on the red carpet with quotes about how she's learning to tune out negativity and stay grounded. There is a predictable rhythm that follows every time controversy sparks a viral clip, a backlash moment, an unfiltered quote, and then there is outrage, silence, and spin. Let's go back to when Rachel first made headlines trashing the original Snow White as strange and outdated. Fans were stunned. Her tone came off as smug, dismissive, like she was mocking the very movie that made her famous, and YouTubers exploded with commentary tick. Others joked that Rachel must have a media infinity gauntlet, but underneath the humor was genuine frustration because when audiences feel like they are being misled or worse ignored, they stop playing along. The press scarcely noticed talks changes, but when she appeared on the red carpet and declared that she wouldn't be kissing any man simply because he saved her life, criticism erupted once more. The internet referred to her as ungrateful, haughty, and disdainful of the heritage of classic film, and the major platforms once more utterly silenced her. The topic wasn't addressed by some outlets until months after the storm dissipated, but even then, the headlines were mild, such as "Zegler responds to trolls" or "Young star speaks out against hate," and she was suddenly the victim.